What's up, y'all? So, I am so sorry if this lighting is horrendous, but I was planning on making this video on. I was planning on making this video on Thursday, but honestly, I just had so much on my mind that I literally just had to just set up my camera and make this video. But to bring it back a little bit, on Sunday, okay, actually to bring it farther back, whenever I volunteer at my church, I work with a team. And there's this one lady on that team that is head of my church's worship team's social media, and she's like the head lady. And so this past Sunday, I was able to meet up with her, and we were able to discuss, how I, like volunteering at the church, how I'm involved with like live production and social media, and if I do anything outside the church with like photography and videography, and talk about like my hobbies, what I enjoyed, and everything. She had suggested that we meet up and discuss about what I would like to do when it comes to being a part of something that like how she's a part of. And we came up with a date and time to discuss and to meet and to just talk about, what is it I would like to be a part of when it comes to that. And so today, on Wednesday, I had the opportunity to go to the church's like centric office where they hold, the digital communications department, where they hold HR, finance, everything. During the tour of the building, I was able to meet so many people. There were of course people that I've seen while I was volunteering, but I've never been able to have like a conversation with. Some of those people that I saw were at this building, and I was able to have conversations with them, talk to them about, like what I was passionate about, what I wanted to do. And we enter into the digital communications, section of the building. And I was able to meet all of these people that had the same almost love as I did. And I had just, during my time there, I just become so excited, and I could already tell just by being like not even an hour into being that environment, I just knew that that is something that I wanted to be a part of. Like no matter if it was in that building or somewhere else, in that instance, I knew that I had to try and find, like a community of like-minded individuals where I could really grow, especially when it came to what I love to do and like the passions and goals that I had. And so after I meet a lot of the people in the digital communication sector, we go back into her office. We go back into the lady's office that I originally met, and we just began like talking about, what her vision for the church, and what basically like what they were about. And we then began discussing, they were wanting to build a creative team of people and start something from the ground up where they focus more on the creativity side of, the social media aspect for the church. And, during that conversation, I had just like, I could have sat and discussed that and discussed like about that for like forever. Cause we weren't just talking about that. Like I was able to talk about the future that I saw for myself, my interests, my passions, the goals that I had for myself. And I just, it's been a long time since I've felt like that. And, that's something that I will hold on to for a while, because I think, when it comes to photos and videos and editing for me personally, of course, there's that initial spark that, gets me set. And I go out and do all these things. I go out and start a YouTube channel. I go out and start posting my photos on Instagram. And there's that initial starting high is the best way I could put it. And I'm just so, excited to at least get started. And you know, I am able to learn more and to apply it to, like my photos and my videos and whatnot. And, a lot of the things that I do now are self-taught. Like I've taught myself how to take good photos. I've taught myself how to edit. I've taught myself how to edit photos and videos. I know I've said edit, but edit photos and videos. Taught myself how to record. Because don't get me wrong, we are in the age where you can literally teach yourself anything. And there are a lot of people who are successful in doing that and can really apply it well. I just think that for me personally, I would like to be in an environment where I'm always constantly learning and being taught these things so that I can grow, develop, and apply it to, whatever projects or things that come up for me. And initially, or I guess sometime after me starting, I almost, with the passions that I have, I almost had hit like a plateau. There was the incline, and like now I'm just like on a plateau where I'm just going and coasting and seeing, like, at this point, like seeing like what sticks. And I don't even want to say that I was ever on the decline. I think I was just on the start of just, I guess, like being stuck with like where I was trying to go. And so that initial, like the initial fire that I had eventually just died down just a little bit. And going, and after today, I literally have this reignited like fire within me to just to be better than I've ever been before, especially when it comes to things like this. And today, like, it reminded me why I even started in the first place, when I was sitting there and just discussing like my passions, all the like the things that I've learned, the things that I've taught myself. And I guess like a little side note, whenever I was meeting these people, the lady that was giving me the tour, she never really told me this, aside from, I guess, like giving me compliments like on like my photos and whatnot. But whenever she was introducing me to these people, she would be like, "Hey, this is Jaden. He's a part of this and the social media team and like LP." And I brought him in, and one of the main reasons why was because I saw his work, and like she just was like complimenting me in my work. And that's not to put aside like the compliments that I've gotten from like family members and whatnot, but us outside of the people that are closest to me, it felt good just hearing that from an outside person. She said that to like 3 to 5 people. I can't even remember how many people she said it to, but it's like each person she introduced me to, she started out with that, and I was like, I mean, I was just, I know, like, I guess, like, taken aback. I mean, I didn't know what to say, and it was extremely nice of her to introduce me, like that. And I guess to take it back to when we were meeting and stuff, going back to the office, she laid out the vision that she saw for this creative team and how it would allow for people to be more creative and to, I guess, like, get outside of the normal, I guess, like, corporate social media, like, posting like box, I guess. I don't even know how to really explain it, but I guess, I mean, the better way to explain it is just building a team that would allow for more creativity when it comes to I guess, like, social media for the church. I don't know. I mean, just sitting there and discussing that with her just reignited that spark that I had deep inside me whenever I first started. And, and shortly after I had called my girlfriend, I told her, like, outside from like that, in my personal life, I don't really know a lot of people who are into video or photos or like film editing. So it's not like I already have like a small group of people that I have the same interest with. And so going there and being surrounded by people who had that same interest, like it was just so exciting to me. And I don't like I said, I mean, I won't ever forget how I felt being there. And I felt like I could have stayed there forever just talking about just things that I like and things that I had in common with others. And one thing that I had mentioned was like, being self-taught and how I would at least like to be in an environment where I could just learn, like whether it be through shadowing or, if they have like any workshops on how to, I guess, like edit videos or something like that. I mean, that is something that I think would be most ideal for me, because like, don't get me wrong, like it's nice. I definitely applaud people that can truly exceed, you know, expectations, especially when it comes to being self-taught. Like I really applaud that. But for me, I don't know. I just would like to just learn and apply what I've learned to like these like projects and stuff. And afterwards, she was like, yeah, if anything comes up, I will be sure to invite you to, these creative or these meetings that we have, discussions about anything, or like if there's events or things that I would like for you to go to, I will most definitely invite you. And we kind of, I mean, we kind of really left it at that because, of like time issues. Like she had a meeting after like a couple hours later or something like that. But I don't know. I just think that I definitely found something that reignited the passion that I originally had for this going into it. And I was definitely reminded of why I even started in the first place. And just taking like a weird spin back to when I stopped working at the sneaker shop. Of course I was like absolutely devastated, but in my mind I knew that that was for a reason. There's a reason why I'm not working there anymore, even though this was like my like sneakers and streetwear was my original love. And there's just a reason for anything, and or I guess a reason for everything. And I mean, even my like me and my girlfriend and my family knew that like there was a reason for that, and I think this was it. I had explained that like working at that sneaker shop took time away from me volunteering at the church, and if I was still working there, I think I might have missed out on this opportunity that I had today. I think it's just crazy how like there was an original plan that I had, for going into all of this. And one thing that it really taught me was like this, like it doesn't matter what I want to do, but it really matters what God has for my life. I say this verse again, and it's, many are the plans in a person's heart, but it's the Lord's purpose that prevails. I think that this is a testament to that. And, obviously this isn't the end, this is just the beginning, praying and hoping that this is just the beginning. And I don't know. I think that this is the most excited that I've ever been for such an opportunity. And, being a part of something like that, like it's a good thing to have my foot in the door. But, if I'm there for, this could just lead to different things. The more that I learn and develop. And you know, the connections and things that I will be able to do, hopefully. And I think, one thing that I tend to do a lot is just be over ambitious about certain things, and I think that this like just doesn't, I don't know, like I do seem over ambitious about it, but I think it's for a good reason. And it's just it's just awesome to see. I can't even like think of what else to put it. And like I've said over and over and over again, like I will never forget how I felt this day. And it's just the beginning, and hopefully with this that I will be able to learn and just gain the skills that I would like to have, and be able to create things, and just to really go back to pursuing like the original passion that I had for myself. The original passion that I had for myself, when starting all of this, and, having a camera and whatnot. I think that's going to be it for today. I just had to set up my camera and just talk about this. Like I said, I apologize for, I don't know if the sliding is any good. I'll have to see whenever I get into editing, but yeah, man, I couldn't put this video back by like another day. And I just want to like remind other people that maybe are starting to lose that spark, is that, just don't give up. Don't give up with your goals. Don't give up with your passions. Don't give up with the things that you truly want to do, because, at the end of the day, it doesn't have to make sense to anyone else but you. I'm not even going to lie, like this, if it wasn't for, God putting me back on the right path and not the path that I wanted to go down, I don't think any of this would have happened at all. And, it's crazy to think like how close I was to potentially like missing it. Continue to just work hard with what you want to do. And, starting out is always going to be so hard. It's always going to be hard to post that initial video, or who knows what. It's always going to be difficult to start, but once you start and just learn to be consistent and discipline yourself, and really hone in on your skills, and really have the vision for yourself. Sorry, that was terrible. I guess really hone in on the vision that you have for yourself. There's really no stopping you. Just remember to always put God first, and you put in the work that you need to, and God will take care of you. But thank y'all for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will talk to y'all soon. Peace.